I'm here outside the newly refurbished Devonshire House, home of the Exeter University Students' Guild, where over the summer there has been a brand new look. However, the Students' Guild is not the only thing to be refurbished with a brand new look at the start of this new academic year. The traditional Freshers' Week saw a raft of sweeping changes introduced by the Guild, which have been met with both apathy and positivity by the students and societies of Exeter. The most obvious change was the controversial decision to rename the week from Freshers' Week to Welcome Week. There was also the decision taken to extend the traditional Freshers' Fair, which normally lasts 2 days, across the whole week, with 6 themed days throughout the week ranging from arts, culture and music, the AU Sports Expo and appreciation, politics, gaming and volunteering. The other major change was the decision to extend the week from the welcome period from a traditional 1 week to 6 weeks at the start of the term, now stretching into November, allowing students to engage with new societies for far longer. These changes were made with the hope of making it easier to engage with societies and make it less overwhelming for both new and returning students. Prior to the start of Welcome Week, Exposé found that these changes had not been met particularly positively by students. However, with Exeter's first ever Welcome Week now in the books, what do students and societies really think of this week? Have any minds been changed? And how does the Guild intend to build on the feedback it received from the week to improve the experience next year? The NewsBite team went out and about around campus to speak to students, societies and the Guild to see what they thought of Welcome Week.
Hello, my name is Florence.
And my name is Tom.
And we're here today on Forum Hill to speak to students to find out what they thought about Welcome Week 2023. Hi, so could you start by introducing yourself, what year you're in and what course you study?
I'm Matthias. I'm doing a master's in entrepreneurship and innovation management. And yeah, I'm here at 4th year in Exeter.
I'm Hannah, I do mathematics and I'm in 3rd year.
I'm Jess and I'm 3rd year and I do geography.
So my name's Georgia, I'm 3rd year law student.
I'm Eve and I'm also a 3rd year law student.
My name is Will. I'm a 3rd year and I study film and television.
So I'm Julian, I do philosophy and Spanish and I'm in my final year.
I'm medical sciences, my name is Hugh, 2nd year.
My name's Jed, I'm a 3rd year theology and religion student.
I'm Jamie Speaker, I'm a 3rd year and I'm on English and Communications.
I'm Emily Thompson, I'm a 3rd year as well and I'm doing politics and sociology.
I'm Lottie, I do classical studies and I'm in 2nd year.
I'm Chelsea, I do history and I'm in 2nd year as well.
So generally, how did you find Welcome Week? Was it busy, exciting, tiring?
Yeah, it was okay.
It was definitely post-pandemic, it was a lot busier this year. You could feel the environment. There was a lot more going on, I feel, than the other years, and even like with lectures and everything was a lot more introductory. It felt like I was a fresher again.
It was busy Welcome Week. Yeah, I'm a social sec, so it was quite busy for me.
So a busy week for you?
It was a really busy. I'm part of 4 committees, so it was a very tiring week, but really enjoyable. The thing I really liked most about was that this year, because I'm in a lot of committees, I was able to have 1 society per day during Welcome Week, so it was pretty useful for me, and I was really happy about it.
Say this year, and I'm sure it's the case for many final year students, you come into uni with a bit of a different headspace, you've got a bit more direction, you kind of know what you want to do, what you want to get out of the year. So I think for me this year, Welcome Week, well, I didn't engage as much with Welcome Week as I did in Freshers, for example, in 1st year. So yeah, I think everything seems a bit updated. I've just come back from my year abroad, so I can quite clearly see the contrast between final year and 2nd year. Seems to be loads of things on, but I personally haven't engaged very much with it.
So I am on committee with the campus cinema, and from the point of view of a committee member, I thought the way they split it up into a bunch of days just didn't really make much sense. On the day that we had our society, there was little to no traffic coming to the place where we were. And I think a lot of that was due to the fact that Guild didn't really properly communicate where things were happening and when, because we were in the Great Hall and barely anyone was really going into the Great Hall. I don't think people knew where we were. And I feel like even if you were actively searching for us, it would be hard to find us. So the most traffic we got was just from going up to people and advertising ourselves. And I think it made more sense when it was one day where everyone knew what they were getting into and every society kind of got a fair share of people coming up and expressing interest.
exciting, yes, I think, because it's your first week back, I suppose. But as a third year, it's sort of like, it's also just mostly tiring.
Yeah, and it's, you know, doing all the different things for Expose was exciting, and being able to do things for X Media was nice as well. But yeah, it's kind of by the end of the week, you're like, you don't want to talk to anyone again for a bit, just tired of the small talk.
Well, there was fears from most societies it would be too much work to do. It would be end up with all committees sort of working flat out throughout the entire week, and it wouldn't end up with a good sort of experience for freshers or anyone else who or postgraduates, etc. But it tends to be really good, I think. It means that you could sort of space out your days with sort of what your interests were and what your enjoyments are. Things like sports day, for instance, I gave a miss. I don't know about you. But it means, and then like we still had the sort of the big thing, everyone in one place, sort of on the Friday.
I went to quite a lot. I'm involved in like committee and whatnot, so I was involved in the Welcome Week, but I also went to it to like check out new societies as well.
Yeah, me too. I think I found being on committee this year, I got involved in a lot, but I also did try out lots of things that I didn't get around to trying last year, so it was quite busy, but it was nice to do it, having already a good grasp of Exeter.
And what year are you in?
First year, so I'm a freshman.
And what do you study?
I'm studying English.
So I am here with?
Isabel.
Isabel. And what year are you in, Isabel?
I'm in my third year.
So I'm here today with?
I'm Abby.
And what year are you in, Abby?
First year.
And I'm here today with?
I'm Leny.
And what year are you in, Leny?
I'm third year.
Hello, I'm here today with?
Alpha.
Tenito.
And what year are you both in?
We're doing our masters.
Yeah, masters.
I'm here today with?
With James.
And what year are you in?
So I'm third year.
And are you involved in any committees at all here at Exeter?
Yeah, so I'm president of Benchball Society.
And how did you find Welcome Week?
I thought it was quite difficult from like a society perspective. So I'm VP for her campus, and we couldn't reach like nearly as many people because of the way the freshers fares were.
I think Welcome Week was really helpful in the sense that it gives you a good insight of all the societies and things that you can join. And this year especially, because when we were doing our Welcome Week, it was mostly online because of COVID and all of that. So it was good to see everybody on campus and stuff like that.
Yeah, it was good to see everyone on campus. Having all the societies inside was also interesting. It was interesting. But other than that, yeah, it was a good Welcome Week. Can't complain. Seemed like everyone was getting along with each other. So good vibes.
It was very good, actually. There were loads of variety throughout the week with different societies. Personally, as a committee member of Expression, we had our booth with the other media societies in the Forum Expo Lab too, and I found it was very good for us.
How did you find Welcome Week as your start to university?
I found it quite exciting. I mean, I had a real mix of emotions. I was really nervous coming into uni, but because there were different like fairs on every day for different societies, I got a chance to speak to loads of different people about loads of different things, like the wellbeing team, and like the resident life team, which was really helpful, and then like the sports expo on Saturday, which was really good fun. So yeah, I like the organisedness of having different things on different days, and yeah, just getting a chance to explore the main campus.
And sort of how did you find Welcome Week or your first week at university?
It was good. It was very different because I'm from quite far away from here. But it was very overwhelming. There was lots going on, but it was a lot of fun. So
yeah.
Guild made quite a few changes to Welcome Week this year, the biggest being removing the traditional Freshers' Fair and then instead spreading societies across different themed days. What did you guys think about that change? Was it useful?
I mean, I think I preferred it last year, only because obviously I wasn't a fresh so this year, but I don't have the fresh experience, like the fresh kind of viewpoint. But I think potentially maybe from a committee point of view, it was more just that like if you weren't able to go every single day, you then missed out on a whole chunk of things. Like if you didn't go on Wednesday, for example, you didn't get any of the sports, or like unless of the ones that were like on the hill. I think I would have preferred how I had it last year, in my opinion.
A few. I thought it was like useful that they were all split up rather than one like big thing. Usually it's quite overwhelming in the previous years, where it's nice to have a smaller group.
Definitely, I completely agree. Even with there's careers fairs happening as well, it's kind of more distinct and you know what you're going for and what type of things you want to look for whilst you're there.
I wasn't sure of it because for me it just meant I had to go up to campus multiple times if I wanted to go to different types of societies, but by third year I kind of already know what already exists, so I didn't really bother going too much. I wasn't that interested.
I feel like as a fresher you want to just go and see everything at once. Personally, that's how we did it in our first year and it worked.
It's mostly confusing. I'm not 1000% sure what we're supposed to be doing. I think with societies it's sort of strange because I'm pretty sure we're supposed to still be saying it's Welcome Week or within the Welcome Week era.
And I think in terms of with the Freshers' Fair, like what it was previously, you can kind of understand how it can be very overwhelming, but in the same way, it's like, it's also overwhelming to have to go multiple days, and particularly for people who are like off-campus accommodation, like that's quite a far way to walk if they wanted to be involved in like multiple societies. And then in the same way for us, in our experience, where we were and all the media societies were, it was kind of a bit off the beaten track. So it was kind of nice in one way because people who had gone to our stall had to find it, but then in the same way, people might have not just stumbled upon it as they may have in previous years. So maybe less kind of awareness.
Yeah, I think we did have a fear that people would just get tired towards the end of the week. Speaking from people who are on committees, our societies were at the end of the week on Friday, and there was a bit of fear of just people just being tired, not wanting to show up. But I think it did mean that the people who were really interested in those societies showed, and probably they just had a nicer, calmer environment to do it.
So you got quite a few of the people who were really interested, but what about those people who might be members who weren't maybe expecting to join certain societies? Did the changes to Welcome Week negatively impact those individuals?
Yeah, I think probably those numbers dwindled. I would say like people who were on the fence, didn't really know what they wanted to do, probably found the spacing out of it on different days meant that sort of going around milling and sort of not really sure what they wanted to do. It was just a bit less accessible in that way.
And there's something of a loss as well, because where previously sort of Welcome Week, sort of Freshers' Week in previous years was everyone coming through. It was a very packed, very busy day, but it meant you saw everything. Nothing was left off. You could at least say that you saw, the Tolkien Appreciation Society, and you know they exist. But previously now a lot of things, societies probably slip under the net for a lot of people, and they won't know that societies exist, and maybe there won't be like a way for them to really know about them or even join them until next January.
And with those theme days, how did you feel sort of having almost to come onto campus each day for each theme? Did you find that all right, or was there a different way you would have preferred it?
I think I could see why they did it, but like having everything so like far apart, and I was in the media room, which was tucked away and nobody knew it was there. So people that don't necessarily, like a lot of people come to university not knowing what they want to do, and then they find out when they're here, and that kind of eradicated any chance of people finding out about us.
For me personally, I kind of noticed that because of the sports, they were on a different day. And so it was just interesting because you get a whole collective of people going on a certain day for different things, and it was kind of interesting to see.
Yeah, it made things less overwhelming, I guess, for the people who are new, because everything at least is divided on different days. They don't have to just push on one day and see everything. So yeah, it was a lot better, a lot smoother, and yeah, keep up the good work, I guess.
I really liked it. I'm in Lafrada, so I'm like a 5-minute walk from main campus. It sort of gave me something to do during the day. I think during Freshers I was a bit stuck of like, keeping myself busy, but having something to come to during the day, like just bring your flatmates along, and it gives you a chance to get to know people and talk to different people. I liked having stuff to do during the day, so yeah, it was good.
And did you find any problems at all with the week and all the way the week was structured at all?
I don't think so. I think I just had to come out every day and just look, because there was always something going on. So I sort of just had to come out and just find things and look around and just get involved in anything that was happening. So, yeah.
And sort of with it sort of being more theme days, each society had their theme days, so media was on Monday, as you said. How did you feel that changed the way that perhaps you had to market the society in the week?
I would say because we had several events, it would be quite, because they had specific rules, we had to follow those and like make sure this. But overall, I think it was a good marketing opportunity to help us.
Definitely. One of the main reasons that the Guild changed the theme days was to sort of move away from one big Freshers' Fair, where it was sort of where the Guild was saying some people found it too overwhelming. How do you think that was achieved this year, or do you think there were still issues where actually the theme days didn't really solve that at all?
I'm sure it was a bit less overwhelming for some things, but I was here on Monday in the forum, and the attendance, the amount of people in here was identical to the last 2 years, it seemed. So it was still busy on Monday, so didn't really escape some of the overwhelming factor.
So the Guild made quite a few changes when it came to Welcome Week this year, even with the title. Do you think Welcome Week is a more inclusive term than Freshers Week, or do you think actually the change doesn't matter overall?
Trivial, but like if it helps, 10% of people, it's worked. It means a difference. Freshers is just a word. Welcome Week will just be another word. We'll call it. We all know what we're talking about. It works perfectly fine.
I don't think it really matters.
I personally liked the change, as in it makes me feel like I'm welcomed back as well. It's not just for first years, and I can get more involved as a third year as well.
I mean, I don't know. We what problems?
A name's a name.
Yeah, it's like I've got real problems. You know what I mean? There's stuff to worry about in the day. Like welcome freshers, call it a week, call it whatever you want, call it Tuesday. You know what I mean? It doesn't really make a difference. But maybe to some people it will. For them, good for you. But I don't know. No difference to me.
Thinking about first year students, how do you feel that change was communicated to them? Did you see anyone confused at all, or do you feel it was generally quite well thought out?
I think the problem is that sometimes first year students don't know what they want. So attendance on the first day, the Monday, when we were promoting on Forum Hill all week, attendance on Monday was really good, but by Friday it kind of had dipped down a lot. And I think that's because quite a lot of people don't know what they want, so get burnt out on Monday and then don't attend the stalls on the other days.
I mean, and part of the reason why the Guild said they changed the theme days was because some students found the sort of a massive fair a bit too overwhelming. I mean, did you find that the Guild helped mitigate that issue, or do you still think there were issues throughout the week anyway?
I think there were issues throughout the week because a lot of the freshers that I had discussions with were confused. It wasn't clearly explained to them actually the nature of the different theme days. Also, I understood the accessibility issues, but I think if they really reinforced the quiet hours they tried to have in previous years, that could have worked better. It's maybe
So overall, do you support the changes that the Guild made to Welcome Week, or are there some things you think they need tinkering with still?
Maybe to mix it more closely rather than separate it so much, because in first year we just did a big one round of it, and I found more different societies, whereas on the Arts and Culture Day, I didn't come up. So if I was a fresher interested in one of them societies, I wouldn't come across one I didn't know about because I wouldn't be looking for it. So it's kind of hard for the smaller societies, I think, to be found when people aren't going for the purpose of looking for them.
Yeah.
Changes. I mean, I feel I wish things could kind of go back to the way they were. To be honest, I think it just made more sense, and I feel like even though it might have seemed more chaotic before, I feel like people just were still able to explore more societies and get a better idea of what they wanted to do. And I just think even though there were more days, the organization didn't feel great, and I feel like having a better idea of what is the main event going on each day so that freshers can actually understand where they need to go to find societies would be best, because I think as it currently stands, freshers are mostly confused as to where to go and what's going on.
Ooh, good question. I would say no, most of the things were quite good. The only thing is that I feel there's, especially regarding international societies, I feel they should have maybe put more forward to it, because when I saw them on Wednesday, I had the impression that nobody knew about it. And also, even though all the society was spread on different days, I have the impression that some of them were not nobody knew about during the week. So if that could be a small change that could be done for next year, I think that would be really helpful as well. But on the overall, I'm quite happy about it.
Hello, I am James Allen with NewsBite, and here with me today is Rhys Wallis, the Societies and Employability Officer at the Students Guild of Exeter. How are you doing today, Rhys?
Yeah, thank you, James. It's great to be here. I'm really looking forward to this. So,
well, yeah, let's get. Well, of course, let's get right into it. So, Rhys, from I guess as they say, the other side of the fence, as of course you were you are a former student now, but now a guild officer. What did you personally find particularly enjoyable about the newly rebranded Welcome Week?
Well, it was great fun. I've enjoyed my time in societies over the course of my last few years at Exeter as a student, and the chance to just be out there and talking to members of all of our wonderful societies. I think I spoke to over 300 societies throughout the course of the week.
I wasn't even aware we had over 300 societies.
And last year we had 323. That number's moving around a bit now as new societies pop up and take sort of some of our students' attention spans, really. But it was great to be out and about, and on the ground with all of our fantastic student members, getting a chance to sort of get a taste of what our societies can do.
So, Rhys, now, prior to the week itself, there was a lot of student confusion regarding the changes, with some feeling that they were perhaps unnecessary. Could you perhaps explain why the Guild chose to make these changes?
Yeah, so this was part of a collaboration between the Students' Guild and the university to try and improve our offering. Obviously, we know that some of the connotations that Freshers has had, but to make our approach more welcoming to all of our students, specifically our international students and some of our returning students, the decision was taken to sort of allow students to be able to choose their approach rather than feeling sort of if they miss out on that one day of engagement, they might miss out for the entire year. I mean, it's a step. There's always going to be room for improvement, and we're very aware of that. And there'll be opportunities to co-design and co-deliver some of our new strategies as we look forward in the coming years. But I think the choice was made for good reasons, to try and make sure we can get our engagement, to make sure that our students feel comfortable and welcomed in the environment as they turn up for what could be a really daunting experience, especially if it's their first time potentially in a new country, let alone a new city, or the first time away from home and their familiar surroundings. So I think it is an important step. And I mean, I think it's somewhat worked, really. Our membership is up by 71%. Overall membership sold from the 1st of August rather. They're at over 12,000 now for 2023, whereas they were only at 7,000 in 2022. The stats are out there for membership sold during Welcome Week and the Freshers period. Just under 6,000 for 2022, but 7,500 in 2023. I think there are some positive steps that we've been taking in terms of our student engagement, but every step is only worth as much as it is if you don't follow it up. So there's room for us to engage and grab that feedback and move forward looking into the future.
Very nice, very nice. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Thank you. Now, final question. How does the Guild intend to build on the feedback received from students and societies to improve the Welcome Week experience next year?
Yeah, I mean, we know there's always going to be student feedback. Some of it's going to be positive, some of it's going to be less so. But all bits of feedback provide a really good opportunity to, again, it's all about co-delivery and co-designing and making sure that we are not just sort of driving off down a path and no one's following. It's how we can all get there together. It's taking what our student members are telling us and then learning how we can sort of mould that into our new processes as we move forward. There's already been some fairly decent feedback. Expose putting out their articles, 56% of students backing the changes now in light of the week, and some good engagement. Again, 56% saying they can easily engage with their societies. But our feedback form is open, so there's a place, if you look on your society mailing lists, there is a link there to take you to a feedback form around Welcome Week, which I'd encourage absolutely every single person who was involved in it to go and fill out. The more feedback we get, the better we can engage and move forward with a student consensus. So absolutely, we'll be looking out for feedback, we'll be taking it on board and moving forward. It's, I think, a really great opportunity, and we're looking to bring students along with us.
Oh, well, thank you very much, Rhys. And of course, go to that feedback form. It's been really great having you here. Thank you so much for answering my questions.
So I'm here outside the Great Hall with two members of the Salsa Society Committee, Neve, who is the Salsa team captain, and Luke, who is the social sec, to hear what they thought as a society of Welcome Week. So first of all, I just want to ask you, what did you enjoy about Welcome Week this year?
Well, I feel like there was a lot of different showcases, which I quite enjoyed. I feel like the last 2 years, I didn't feel like there was many options to see what societies were about and what they were doing. But I think this year, with the many different showcases, you had the stage during the music week, and you had on the Thursday, I think there were some showcases like ballroom and stuff like that. So I really enjoyed seeing the societies do what they're meant to do,
As a society, did you find it easier to engage with people and particularly freshers, but also returning students this year?
It was definitely a lot less overwhelming than the last 2 years, because obviously having everyone every single day in the forum through to the Great Hall was just really hard to weave past people, but I think having designated areas for each group was quite a nice way to be able to talk to people one-on-one or as a small group rather than just everybody packed around you.
And looking ahead perhaps to next year, what areas would you like the Guild to perhaps keep the same in terms of the changes made this year, but also improve on and build on feedback from yourself and other societies?
I think there were a lot of points where I felt like that we weren't getting many people coming through because of the rain. The weather was really a lot of turmoil in the rain. So when people saw it was raining, it was like, oh, I'm not going to bother today. So I feel like if people have like multiple days maybe where they so you have multiple days to interact with our society rather than just having one day specifically, it might bring our reach even further, and also it just might make it easier for us.
Yeah, I agree with that, because we at first were going to be on Magnolia Lawn, and obviously the rain was so bad that we had to go inside to the terrace in Devonshire House. But I think it was still better to have like the designated areas on different days. Just maybe have it so each society has a sort of designated slot, and it doesn't just allow some societies to go a bit more than others, because that just felt like some were being seen more than others. That's my only thing that maybe would be an improvement for next year.
Brilliant. Well, thank you so much for your time and coming to speak to us today. Certainly seems like there's a lot of positives to come out of the week, but also some improvements that the Guild can look at for next year. So there we have it. We've spoken to a range of students, societies and the Guild themselves to hear what they thought of Welcome Week. And the reception, well, it appears to have been very mixed. We've heard some amazing things from societies and students and the Guild through Rhys about the great activities that they were able to enjoy during Welcome Week, and the fact that some of the changes had quite a beneficial impact on their enjoyment of the week. However, there are obviously areas to improve on as the Guild looks towards next year and the 2024 Welcome Week. So we look forward, hopefully, to seeing you all again in a year's time to do it all over again.